Oh, life.
Oh, life. Oh, life. What was that? Was that Cher?
Do.
Wasn't Cher. It was one of those people. Cher. Who was the one that was raining?
He was a black singer.
April.
Was it like Tony Braxton or something?
I don't know. Isn't he a pickle?
It's a
Branston.
woman. It's a woman.
Branston.
Tony Branston.
Yeah.
Tony Branston.
Give me some cheese.
Yeah.
You probably ate pickle, didn't you?
Yeah. Yeah, I'm
course you
quite a
did.
fan of that kind of stuff. Pickle and...
Do you hate
How did I guess?
I like cheese and pickle.
Yeah?
But only because an old lady gave me a cheese and pickle sandwich once. And I was like, all right.
All right.
Imagery.
Well, this was free.
Imagery.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, yeah, it's pretty good. And then from that gave birth to now I'll have a ploughman's every now and then. We recorded.
Rolling.
Format
Rolling.
thing. Right, yeah.
Yeah. Everything's fine.
Yeah. So, how have you been?
Good. Productive week.
Good. Button-up shirt, and your slippers.
I've been
Jeans.
I've been on site today.
On site.
So
That's your
that
camouflage, is it? You've been hunting?
You have to dress
In tartan.
semi-formally. Yeah. Yeah.
Tartan only, please.
I don't know what it is about working with people, but I always put on a shirt. I think I've just been brainwashed to think
This
that's the way
will
you
hide my inadequacy.
do it. Yeah. Yeah. Oh, he looks like a professional. He's wearing orange.
He's not thinking about hating traffic lights or anything like that. He's probably quite a reasonable guy.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is
fair.
definitely a camouflage for my own inadequacies.
Inadequacy.
Like talking.
Well, just at the top of the key, if I can find it, I think we should discuss this.
It's a new one. Poor dog. God. Yeah.
Just to wrap up from last week, where we spoke way too much about God.
Yeah.
And we both, it was so impromptuly. One, it was birthed out of confrontation. Because I
Yeah.
was feeling very confrontational
I watched
that day.
I watched the first 20 minutes of that before you got here, and it was very combative.
There is a reason. It's an unjustified reason, but there is a reason.
Right.
It's just something that I didn't really realise at the time. It was only later that day I realised. I've got a bit of stress in my life at the moment.
Okay.
I'm...
Is it because of God?
Yeah. Because of dog, basically.
Right.
My dog's very happy and healthy and very, very close to my dog. We spoke before about how much I embody hatred and anger and that's part of the spectrum that I hate so much, that I love so much as well. So I'm very, very close to my dog. And in 5 months, I'm going abroad for a work trip and I'm already having emotional feelings about not being around my dog for 2 weeks.
Like you're having to leave your kid for the first time.
Well, that's something you said because it's strange because it's not like a father-son, father-daughter relationship with the dog at all. It really is welded into your body. It's like a companion, like a true companion.
Yeah.
Like
a D&D style companion. Like you get hurt, I get hurt.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
But it's not. I don't know what a child relationship is like, but this is very much best friend around all the time kind of thing.
Yeah.
And it's how I'm gonna just deal with not being around him for 2 weeks. It's just it's just kind of a stressful thing. And as I was going through that, I remembered one comment that you made about my dog 2 weeks ago about something I think about I had the TV licensing people come around my house.
Right.
And you described my dog as here's my dark black nightmare of a dog.
Oh, did I?
Yeah, which is perfectly normal statement to make, but because I was having those feelings of I'm gonna miss my dog and that, it's Steve called your dog a nightmare. So I think that was just bubbling along with the other stuff that was the other concerns I was having. So I was like, you know what, I'm gonna confront Steve today about the Big Bang. You know what? Oh, the Big Bang's real, is it, Steve? Well, fuck you, it's not. My dog, great. Okay. So it was just.
I like your dog.
Oh yeah, but you called her a nightmare, and she's very well behaved, a very good dog. Yes, she's very alpha, but it's fine. But yeah, so it wasn't a negative remark upon yourself. It was just, I think I've been trying to figure out and control that kind of concern, and I've spoken to people about it. It's it's not that I'm worried like what's going to happen to my dog when I'm away. It's just I'm genuinely going to miss my dog.
Yeah.
So don't know how I'm going to be able to kind of cope with that, especially being abroad and being like, what's going to happen. So yeah, I think there was a bit of that bubbled, and then you were the thing that I took it out on.
Right.
In that way.
Okay.
That makes sense. And again, not because of anything you've done.
Yeah.
It was just a passing remark that was intended to be comedy, that makes sense as comedy, because my dog's a house defense dog.
Yeah.
And any burglar would be terrified of my dog.
Yeah.
So it makes sense. It's not a criticism.
She's huge.
It's God speaking. Is what we're talking about. That was God bubbling through.
Right.
But yeah, I think I figured out our conversation after going through it. To sum it up and really little bow.
Oh, to bring it up again.
Yeah, but to address it as opposed to just leave it out there and then just pigs. Move on with that kind of thing.
Oh.
Pig fact.
So yeah, God. I think we're saying the exact same thing. I think it was just like I said before, definitions were different.
Yeah.
So one of the examples I gave were, one of them was if you're going to throw a rock at a bird, then only 5% of it is conscious calculations. The rest is body memory and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
And what I was trying to say was, if you want to hit the bird that you're throwing the rock at, you need to communicate to your subconscious in a different language, because there's two different things going on. And if you in your mind's eye you can envision hitting it, your body will communicate more efficiently and you'll be more likely to hit it.
Yeah. They do always talk about visualization, and really there's no reason as to why that should work, but it does.
But I think that it does work because you're communicating it to your subconscious and all that kind's going through.
Yeah.
So a lot of imagery associated with lots of different gods, if the more imagery you try to envision within something outside of yourself, the more you'll be able to communicate to other things that are going on in your body.
Yeah.
So like inspiration, for example, if you're looking for inspiration, there's no conscious inspiration. You think about something rationally and consciously, you come up with something, and then your inspiration will be created. It's loads of different things coming together and having it. I'm not saying that's an exterior force that's giving you, like a bowl of inspiration, but by imagining images outside of yourself, because you could say, why don't you believe in yourself? But yourself is limited. So if you believe in something greater, then I believe that's how you channel that kind of 95% subconscious, all this other stuff that's going on.
I suppose it could be a good way to kind of tune out your insecurities as well, because you're not putting faith in yourself, you're putting faith in something else.
But even if you were to put faith in yourself, you know that you are a limited person.
Yeah.
If you put faith in something greater, then there's going to be more greater imagery, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
So that's what I mean. Like we were having two different conversations because of the two different definitions.
Yeah.
And I think that if you do believe in the god Muse, then you will seek out Muse and you will be able to envision and make sacrifices and perform rituals in order to summon that god, and that's really you just trying to get in tune with your body.
Yeah.
That's kind of where I was going with that, but I was too much thinking about what's my dog going to do while I'm abroad.
Yeah.
And so it all got muddled with throwing rocks at Jews, and which I was going to edit out because I was also it's like, well, that's bad, right? This is what editing's for. And I was like, no.
Be
That's
honest,
not what this podcast is.
Yeah. Nobody's watching.
A flawed friendship and a flawed podcast. It's in the world.
Yeah.
Can't pretend it was something else.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So yeah, it was good.
Yeah. That's a good lively segment.
Oh, it was shorter than last time.
It was. Yeah, it wasn't an hour and a half long.
Just felt like it was one of those things where like we had this the last 5 episodes I think have been of a certain pace, and then last week we're like, there's no news, nothing really happening. Let's read lists of Valentine's gifts.
Yeah.
And it was like, let's talk about God. And I felt like we address it and be like, we're just having a weird week.
To be fair, like, given that we've done this is 176 times now, this one is, we've never really broached God before, which is a conversation between two people who are constantly waxing philosophical about nothing, is some kind of miracle.
It is God. Is what you're saying. Yeah, I think I find it fascinating because I find the I don't really know what I believe about anything. As I said, I don't really. I need to start harboring opinions.
Yeah, well, not necessarily. I think it's one of those things that you should always be reevaluating.
Oh yeah, but the thing that I find funniest is when people have a strong belief in anything, like Big Bang. Like the reason I reacted to no for it was because it's kind of a global accepted scientific fact that happened, and
it's still theory.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Like, yeah,
but it's kind of a well-held belief.
Yeah.
I don't believe in God because I believe in the Big Bang. Is kind of like a big example that's kind of compared.
Yeah, but even then, those two, I think anyone that says that is pretty stupid. There's no reason why one couldn't exist without the other.
Well, there's no sound in space, Steve. I mean, I've done that. We went over this.
Well, we're talking about language again now.
No, we're talking about sound. And I guess you can't have sound without language.
You're taking the back, like you can have an explosion.
I'm taking the confrontational position.
I'm glad we're revisiting this energy.
To try and create it entertaining instead of like, you're right, it is.
It's giving me feelings of nostalgia.
Yeah?
Yeah, I missed last week.
You do?
No.
No, you don't.
No, not at all.
But, you know, you've got to... But yeah, trying to... and I find to confront those kind of well-held beliefs as funny anyway. Because, yeah, the thing I find funniest is when people have something that they... This is true. And I'm like, oh, why? Why do...
Yeah.
Why do you think that? I don't care. I'm just throwing that grenade in that room.
Yeah. It's always funny to argue with people who are certain.
Yeah, well, it's just it's more their certainty that you're arguing with, right?
Yeah,
it's like no, they believe in this because you're like, but why? Because well, he said it, all right. And then why do you believe what they said? And just like, does it really matter? If you found out that if you individually found out that the Big Bang didn't happen, would you become a different person? Would you become blonde? You know what would happen? Like nothing would happen because that's trivia to you.
Yeah.
To a Big Bang scientist who just goes around smashing things all over the place, change their life. They don't a lot of things, and new things. Society could change, but you wouldn't change. So why is it very important to you to stick to that thing? So just agent of chaos. It's interesting. It's more interesting, and it's more interesting and entertaining to disagree than to agree.
Yeah,
I think that new things come out of confrontation. So why not be confrontational sometimes when you're missing your dog when the dog's still here?
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Yeah. I've spent. When was it that I ditched the? I said it a few weeks ago and you laughed. I think I got rid of the Facebook app on my phone.
Oh yeah,
and I haven't
2 weeks or something.
I haven't really been on it at all, but I've realised that one of the things that I missed is seeing like very kind of charged statements, like say something about global warming, and then seeing the one person underneath that's like, global warming isn't real. And then like just kind of like going and fetching the popcorn and just like, I'm just going to sit here. I'm just going to read through all of this. Like this.
Just want to see what the world says.
Yeah, well, I like reading other people's arguments. I never get involved, really. Like I used to. You did
briefly.
I used to, and it was like it proved completely unfruitful. I think arguing on the internet now is stupid. I don't think you get anywhere. I think like if we'd had that discussion about God anywhere but face to face, I think I don't think it would have gone well.
Well, whenever I have those kind of debates online, I always give a nice couscous recipe at the end.
You do.
So you'd have like a whole list of new couscous to cook.
Yeah.
Just to round off every single weirdly politically, philosophically conversation online with. And if you want to enjoy this with a nice amount of sultana infused couscous, why not?
Well, it's just we're meant to argue with body language and with facial expressions and things. Like I think it's necessary. It's necessary, particularly like in something like last week where we know that we don't mean any ill will towards each other when we're talking about this stuff. But that's not as obvious when it's just like as a paragraph on Facebook.
Well, people always say that about texting people.
Yeah.
You know, you get misinformation, you misinterpret things, and you go like, yeah, because it's not. while it is a method of communication, it requires a back knowledge of the person's communication style in order to understand the text.
Like,
and I think it's probably even more so when you go online with strangers and I've got no backstory for how this person speaks.
You know very well that like I can come across as quite cold and like a bit of an asshole when I'm like in a message, just because I'm very short and to the point, and I don't tend to embellish much. And like my tone of voice doesn't really come across because I don't really try and put any tone of voice into it. But like it's fine with you, but I talk like that to everybody. And it can cause conflict. And for some reason, I've just been like, I'm not going to change it. I'm fine. Life's too short.
They're an hour's drive away.
Yeah.
Don't have to deal with that.
Yeah.
Yeah, but
then likewise with you, I'll never put a smiley face in a conversation.
Don't.
And I've started doing that a lot now just to stop conflicts.
Just give someone a smiley face.
How I normally do. Smiley face. There you go.
But yeah. So yeah, good week. Good 4, 5, 6 days, 5 days. Something
however
like
long it's been. Yeah, positive steps forward in business and life and everything.
God,
glad we cleared that up.
we put a bow on it. Thought that was important.
Yeah.
Yeah,
things going well.
Yeah. You got your tartan, you got your shirt, you got your smile yet? You get that I think you get that in the post once you kind of become a bit more.
Oh, is that like getting a bus pass when you're 65?
Yeah, just once you get enough tartan shirts, you get a smile. Yeah.
Yours?
Yeah. It was all right. Just not much going on. Need to get back on the productivity train again. Been doing things here and there, but and maintaining. But it's like, I need to go out and just do more.
Yeah.
But just been trying to sort other stuff out.
Yeah.
But yeah, got a message. Still want to pursue doing another stand-up thing. So I think like that could still be quite fun. And got been chatting with some people about that, and it seems like it could be quite cool. Got the video from the blood sacrifice.
Oh, really? That was
set
videoed?
that I did. Yeah. I didn't realize it got sent to me. I was like, oh, okay, cool. Gave it a watch. Like, this was okay.
That's cool.
Still like a rough.
It's a good thing to have.
Yeah, but it's one of those things where it's like, it's always good to, because you audio record it, which is easy, but it's very different to see what you're doing when you're on
body
stage.
Language and everything. Yeah.
And my whole thing is I need to figure my thing that's in my head is I need to figure out the setup, which is involved like everything when I go on stage. I think that's the big thing to figure out, and then talking about stuff. We've been doing this for a long time. Over 3 years now, and a year for video, pretty much in 5 days or something. I saw that today.
Oh, is it?
Yeah, Volcano Valentine.
Yeah,
124 or 123.
Was the first one.
Yeah. So 52.
Fuck.
Yeah, year of video. So I think getting up and talking about stuff is fine. It's just how to present myself on stage.
Yeah.
And my instinct is always to go to amateur dramatics violence, because that's all I ever did on amateur dramatics was just express violence.
Just maximum intensity.
Yeah. But I need to figure out a way to turn that more. And that only comes with doing it more. So video was quite cool.
Yeah.
But other than that, just going to try and pursue that a little bit more, really. Try and do a bit more writing.
I picked up the guitar again this week.
Oh, yeah?
Which I think is probably down to this podcast, because we spent 2 weeks talking about why I'm not doing music. Just mentioning it.
And I was like, don't let our radius.
Yeah.
That's me trying to be nice. Don't give up your dreams. Our radius, God's real. Big Bang didn't exist. Play your guitar.
Yeah.
Dying dog.
Yeah, and it's one of those things where like I'm not sure how best to approach it to stop me putting it down again. Like, because it feels like an inevitability of everything that I try to do that I'm not like, that isn't like an active part of my life, like video stuff. Like I tend to do for a bit and then put down. And guitar's been one of those ones that I've done like that for like 15 years.
Yeah.
And it just stops you getting any further. And I don't know if it's because I'm hitting walls, because like I feel like I'm not like identifying my weaknesses properly, so I can put together like a proper kind of practice routine that will break me through them. Maybe so. I think I'd need to kind of self-analyze on it, like film myself practicing and figure out what I need to.
I think something that both you and I do, but I think that you do more, is that I think you do things out of a sense of this is what I should be doing. I should be playing guitar more. And then you pick up guitar and you play, and you'd be like, I should be doing this. I'm enjoying doing this, and I should be doing this. But then there'll come a time where you'd be like, I didn't go anywhere with it. I just kind of did it for a bit and dropped it again.
Yeah. So
I think that's indirectly, I think, what I was trying to address with, if it's an hour's drive away, then that becomes a point of prevention.
Yeah.
Just be like, just figure out what it is you actually want to do with guitar.
Yeah.
If you want to play lead guitar in a band, then be like, let's see if we can do that.
Yeah.
If you want to play, busk, if you want to go busking, something we've both said we want to do. If you want to go do that, you've done all the prep for it. I think you bought a binder, you put pages in that binder, and then you were like, well, I'm just not going to go busking now.
Yeah, no, I never did it.
It's just, and I think, and that's not, oh, I'm not going to do it, therefore I don't actually want to do it.
No, that's not.
The procrastination of just as soon as I do it, it's real and I have to do it.
Yeah.
I can't say no to it. So yeah, it's just a case of sitting down and being like, look, I'm going to spend X amount of time on this right now. What am I going to do to make it most efficient? Am I just going to, ploddle and think that I've done a lot of work on it, or am I actually going to figure out, no, I want to do this, focus on it and be like, yep, do this, and then this Saturday I'm going to go here and just play some music.
Yeah.
Or is it going to be something else? It's just, it's instead of doing it because you feel you ought to, it's being like, yes, I feel I ought to. The next step is, how am I going to do this? Where do I want to be? And then how do I get there? Rather than just, I'll maintain. Is what I found myself doing anyway, because I think we both kind of do that.
Because you picked it up again a while ago, didn't you?
Yeah. But I've always kind of picked it up at least once a week.
Yeah.
Just because it helps with the demons. Yeah. So just have a bit of a
whereas I'll go
that.
like long swathes of like, I haven't actually picked it up for like 6 months, like that kind of thing. Where it's like, and it's not like a conscious thing. It's like suddenly one day you're just like, oh, I haven't played in ages.
Yeah.
Like it's
and that's just self-management, isn't it?
Yeah.
Just being like, do I want to do this, and what should I do with it, as opposed to, I'll just have a plink plonk for a bit, for a couple of weeks, and then see how it goes. Yeah. It's just figuring out what you want to do with it. So I had the same thing with something. It's rattling around in my mind. But yeah, just the same with the podcast. This was like something that when we both started it, we were like, it's probably just going to be we'll play around with it for a little bit. Yeah. And then we'll see what happens. Yeah. But because we both had visions for it, and then we both had moments where it's like, actually, let's start doing video now. And then actually, let's go to a convention. It's being like, that's the next step to take it. Yeah. And then it becomes, this is manageable now. This is easy to do. Yeah. It's just, how do you go about continuing to do it? Yeah. So I think just figure out what it is you actually want to do. And envision the gods to help you get there. Yeah. Gods. Good old God bow. Good bow. Yeah. I did start making a segment because there's two related news articles here that I couldn't quite find the right theme for it. So any advice, throw it in. A woman who tried to open a passenger plane door mid-flight, prompting 2 fighter jets to be scrambled, has been jailed for 2 years. Scrambled? Yeah, like emergency. Scrambled as in they've radioed the RAF have panicked, emergency got into fighter jets and taken off to intercept. You scramble fighter jets. Okay. What were they going to do? Well, they're going to shoot down the plane if it starts veering towards a city or something. Or shoot closed this door that she's trying to open. She was trying... like a trick shot. Yeah. Fire the door missile. Yeah. Just open the window, lean out. Like just proper Team America move. Yeah. But yeah, she just got up and decided to try and open up the door. She's trying to open the door. Quick, kill everybody. Shoot it down. But yeah, then just fighter jets just appeared. Or is it like they appear and then a guy climbs out of the fighter jet with a megaphone, like you're talking down a... Yeah. And we've discussed this before because we've had tales of people, in quotes, falling out of planes. Yeah. Where they've opened a door and jumped out or something, or the door's already been open. And we did say that it was impossible for her to open the door. One, because of safety measures, but two, the speed that the plane's going at and the weight of everything. Yeah. You just can't humanly... No, I don't know, maybe someone really strong can do it, but I feel like there'd be safety measures anyway. It's probably one of those weird, on that submarines. You've got like that old 1980s car, put the window down, but like a driving wheel. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's probably one of those. Can't do that.
Right.
Chloe Haynes, 26, from High Wycombe, also scratched a member of crew as she lunged at the door shouting, "I'm going to kill you all."
High Wycombe.
High Wycombe. Or High Wycombe. Can't remember.
All right.
It's London, I think.
Yeah.
High Wycombe.
She's going to kill everybody?
She said she's going to kill you. She's going to kill you all. 2 RAF jets rushed to escort the plane to Stansted Airport, causing a sonic boom across Essex. She admitted 2 charges and was sentenced at a Crown Court. She pleaded guilty to endangering the safety of the plane and assault by beating. I mean, she scratched. She didn't beat.
Yeah.
But you've got to put them in.
But I suppose you can't
something.
create a separate law for every little thing,
For
can you?
nails.
No.
Happened with 206 people aboard, heading to Dalaman in Turkey. She said she blacked out and didn't really remember what happened.
She's drugged.
She mixed alcohol and medication.
Right. Adderall or
Something.
a lot of people take drugs on planes to calm them
to
down.
chill out.
Yeah.
I guess. And it was impossible to open the door, but the people on the plane didn't necessarily know that. So it would have caused a lot of panic, and apparently the RAF jets were sent in error by mistake. So I guess there's a button
That's
on a plane.
an expensive mistake.
It gives the RAF something to do. You know what I mean? Go out, fry a plane, scramble a plane.
Yeah.
Get out
go
there.
shoot down a passenger plane.
Yeah. Let's do it.
Sonic boom.
And in other news, related, but with a more of a Stoke-on-Trent vibe, because it was from the Stoke Sentinel, a drunken yob who caused a plane to be diverted after he began eating his mobile phone is set to be jailed after admitting endangering an aircraft.
What? Why are you going to jail him for that?
What's going to happen? What's going to happen?
Why have you got to jail him for that?
Well, apparently, I haven't understood this, but when he was eating
He
it...
wasn't eating the plane.
Well, I guess if you saw someone eat an electronic, you'd have to assume that maybe something bad was going to happen. You know what I mean? Just for security reasons. If somebody was like...
That man's a bum.
He's triggered himself. But apparently, when he was eating his phone, I think the lead battery or something fell on the seat and started smoking.
Right, yeah. Well, if the seal's broken...
If you eat half a battery, then fire. You spit out a fireball.
Batteries are weird, man. So if it's they're very, so I think they're sort of very well insulated on the inside. But if the contents of one layer make contact with the contents of another, then
Big bang.
It's almost like it short circuits and it causes fire, and it's really difficult to put out. Like a lot with lithium batteries and stuff, which is the stuff in cameras and phones and everything.
They put it in a glass or a cup of water.
You just have to, you just have to. Most of the time, you just have to wait for it to finish burning.
Just had to land the plane.
So I guess on a plane, that's
Better land.
endangering the
Something's
plane. But
it's
I was
on
just
fire.
So
So
it was so if it was one of those old Nokias and he'd just taken the battery out and then eaten his phone, I think he'd have been fine.
it could have been more civil.
Yeah.
Could have been more respectful
Yeah,
of everyone on the plane.
It's a statement about airline food, I guess.
Yeah, I'd rather eat the Wi-Fi.
Yeah, I'd rather eat my contract.
Matthew Flaherty, 44, from Middlewich in Cheshire, which was where I had the blood sacrifice.
He's only
there's
like
a few people around there. Yeah.
He's like 15, 20 minutes away.
Yeah, it's like the next exit. It's was on board flight from Manchester to Iceland when he pulled a bottle of gin from a bag and began swigging from it as well. The property conveyancer then shouted and swore at cabin crew and threatened to kill them during a mid-air rant. He was warned to sit down and behave himself. Behave yourself. But he ignored them, pulled out his phone and began eating it. I'll behave myself. Yeah, as the phone battery fell onto a seat and began to smoke and smoulder, the plane crew rushed over, placed the battery into a glass of water. They then told the crew manager on the flight, told Edinburgh Sheriff Court they were very intimidated by his outburst. He's eating a phone. Yeah, I'd say you'd be a bit concerned about what was going on, and was worried that he would start causing physical harm. Then he tried to chat up a woman passenger who ignored him. So Flaherty began shouting and swearing at her, telling her to fuck off. You come here often. Fuck off. And then he said he was going to kill her whole family.
Christ.
Cabin crew attempted to calm the situation, but he told them, I'm going to kill you if you don't shut up. So they described themselves as quite shaken by his behaviour, and none of the staff said they had dealt with anything as extreme previously.
Don't you
He
think?
set the standard.
Yeah.
Eating a phone. Threatening to kill multiple people's family from the air.
Yeah. Like, it's a weird thing how, like, the potential for chaos if all the passengers decided to join forces and overthrow the cabin crew and stuff on a plane. Like, it's possible. Because and there's no preventative measures on a plane. Like, I think every plane should have like emergency chloroform or something to take out people like that. Because the staff aren't trained in it, and they don't have security on most flights.
Well, they've got
like short haul flights and stuff.
Well, they've all got they can lock the cockpit now, so no one can get into the cockpit.
Yeah.
So I think that's probably the best you can do. If you start bringing weapons and poisons onto the plane to deal with the passengers, maybe they'll be able to be used on the staff. Do you know what I mean?
Maybe. I don't know. I think
they used to have guns on planes. I don't know whether they still do.
I wouldn't fire a gun on a plane.
No, but you'd have special types. You know, you'd have like tasers. And,
Yeah. It'll go through your head, but it won't go through the wall.
Yeah.
Oh, I feel safe.
Yeah. Wasn't there a whole thing in the
You'd
80s?
have rubber bullets, I suppose.
The 80s had like random superheroes going on the planes, air marshals.
Oh, right.
They just have a random, at least from the movies, there will be an air, I can't remember what they were called. I just said it, an air marshal. There'd be an air marshal on every plane.
Yeah.
Just be one Secret Service guard
Yeah.
looking for like temp work.
I don't think...
Do you want to go to Iceland? Sure.
Yeah.
Will you pay me if you bring your gun?
I don't think they can
Okay.
afford to staff it now. Like, I don't think you could have someone like a highly trained security personnel on every single flight. I
No.
don't think it's possible.
But they can cut off the cockpit. I think
Yeah.
that's important enough.
Yeah,
Land
but
the plane
if your
somewhere
cabin
else.
crew are all outside and all the passengers are like, look, we're gonna kill all the cabin crew unless you open the cockpit, they'd probably open the cockpit.
Not anymore, I don't think.
Oh, they're just
Because of
fuck
9/11.
the cabin crew.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This is the risk they've signed on
this
to
is
take.
protocol. Sorry, Sandra.
Yeah, well, it's like,
Sandra getting ripped apart,
well, it's the whole, do you want to kill thousands of people?
eating her phone out of sheer despair.
Maybe if I eat it, I can send a signal to Just Eat.
Yeah.
Just Eat will save me or something.
Yeah.
Yeah, he was also mixing alcohol with painkillers.
Yeah, so it's another...
It's just
it's
so
another
weird
thing.
when you put weird chemicals in your body, I guess.
Yeah.
Because, what was is it not Nitol? I think Adderall and something... A lot of antidepressants, I think, when mixed with alcohol,
Yeah, anything
something to help you sleep. I can't
sleeping
remember what it
pills
was
and
called.
stuff. It is... No, Adderall is the...
Like Roseanne was the big one for it. It's just blackout.
yeah.
Can't remember what drug
Adderall's
it
the
was.
ADHD one, isn't it?
Mm. She was on that as well. But yeah, she was on, there was some kind of sleeping pill that was causing a lot of problems with a lot of,
Yeah.
people's social media.
Yeah.
Anyway, on to happier news. The coronavirus.
Oh. Excellent.
I don't know whether I like or I hate this guy, but we'll see. A Chinese marathon runner under lockdown for the coronavirus outbreak has kept his spirits up by running 31 miles in his living room. So just running around his living room table.
Oh, my
for
God.
31 miles.
Jesus Christ.
It's like, I get it. It's healthy. You're looking to keep yourself sane. You've probably been under lockdown for a number of days.
Has he got coronavirus?
No, but he's under. Well, you don't know.
But
But he's under lockdown. He
Right,
can't go
okay.
outside because it's contagious.
It's a
No,
potential that you're very ill. So don't run 30 miles.
It raises your immune system, but it also kind of lowers your immune system.
Yeah.
So you've got to get the timings right.
Yeah. And we need to know that if you collapse, it's because of the virus.
Not because you ran that marathon.
Not because you ran around your table 2,500 times.
Yeah, I just hope it becomes a symptom of the coronavirus. So you
Yeah.
just run a marathon. And then like, quarantine that. Pan Shanku from the city of Hangzhou completed 6,250 laps of track, consisting of 2 large tables set up inside his apartment.
Oh my God.
He said he couldn't bear sitting down anymore, and he and many other people across China have been confined to their homes for weeks. Makes sense. It's understandable. But just, you can always run a marathon if you're under quarantine.
Yeah. I often wonder how much that would bother me. Like being
the house arrest kind of thing.
being confined to your house. Like, I don't like. There have been times Like when I've been off work, where like I've just thought one day and I've just been like, I haven't left the house in 4 days. Like, because I haven't needed to. We've got food, like I haven't got any plans to go out. I've got work to do.
Yeah, it's the difference between being prevented from going out.
Yeah, I guess.
Like when I don't know if you do, but
still
whenever
free to leave.
Whenever I get an injury, I'm always like, I always make a mental note to appreciate not having that injury later on.
Yeah.
You know, like say you got a paper cut and it's hurting. It's like, in a week's time,
Yeah.
I'm going to touch it, be like, it's fine now.
Yeah.
I'm going to appreciate that.
Yeah, I always have that.
And like if you're sick and you can't go out, you're like, oh, I'd like to.
Yeah,
go
and then
do
you're
something.
well again, and you're like, not going outside.
Yeah, yeah. It's having that freedom, I guess. I wouldn't like to be under house arrest.
No. I'm not saying I'd like it. I just
yeah.
don't think it'd be as bad.
Depends how long, I guess.
Wouldn't be as bad as going to prison.
A week could be doable.
Yeah.
Well, prison's interesting. You meet new people.
Meet new people. And I always thought it'd be quite good because you get to... there's no reason not to work out. Like, there's no reason not to improve yourself in that environment because what else are you going to do?
Under threat of violence and stuff, what better time to hang around all the heavy weights?
Well, it's just, well, it's just like you
In a nutshell,
there's nothing else to do. Like you don't have any like, oh, I should really get this done, like, because you can't because you're in prison.
Well, was it Korea that had that prison holiday scheme we covered ages
Oh yeah,
ago,
yeah.
where you go to prison
and experience
for like a
prison.
week. Yeah, and the big thing was like all your phone gets taken off of you and your meals are ready made. And
it's a really clever way of tricking people to be imprisoned.
yeah, it's a really clever way to
Come and
instigate the
experience
coronavirus.
the concentration camp. Lock the gates.
Yeah, that's mainly the news for this week. We've got some stuff from the audience.
Ooh.
Apparently, they just wanted to let us know racism.com is available for purchase.
Oh, is it?
Not about our podcast, just in case we wanted something a bit more rebranding, because it was quite easy to market racism.com.
I think
You'd probably get a lot of traffic.
I bet it's expensive.
It's £133,873.
I'll sell my house.
Let's do it. Sell the house for a website.
Business opportunity. We're moving back in with
We're
the
moving
folks.
into racism.com.
Yeah, back in with the parents, but think of the traffic.
Yeah, we'll get so many Squarespace adverts.
So many hits.
Yeah. That was all that was. One was, I think we covered this, but I can't remember. Terrorist group Al-Shabaab has banned single-use plastic bags.
I do remember covering this.
Something about it is ringing bells, but we'll go through it a little bit. The Somali militant Islamist group, which has links to Al-Qaeda, has had a long interest in environmental issues. It made the official announcement on Radio Andalus, which is operated by Al-Shabaab. Jubaland regional leader Mohammed Abu Abdullah said the group had come to the decision due to the serious threat posed by plastic bags to both humans and livestock.
Yeah, never mind bombs, guns, shrapnel.
Well, they did add that the pollution caused by plastic was damaging to the environment.
As opposed to the pollution caused by like C5.
They also announced that they've banned the logging of rare trees. Don't log those rare trees. Details of how the eco-friendly bans would be enforced were not shared with listeners.
I imagine quite strictly.
You'd imagine, I mean, I did a little bit of digging. They were responsible for a deadly terror attack at the Westgate shopping mall, which killed 67 people in 2013. And last October, twin bombings by the terror group in Mogadishu killed more than 500. So it's like, I think they are definitely a terrorist group. But they're also all about that bag for life. So,
Well, we've only got one planet.
yeah.
There's plenty of
low
us.
the population, but
Yeah.
don't log those trees.
Yeah, they're
mind.
double eco-friendly. Like, do you realise how much pollution one person causes?
Yeah.
A lot. They say the most eco-friendly
500
thing
less.
you can do is not have kids. So like, killing people is eco-friendly.
Why not? It's
Yeah.
one way to solve it. Instead of inventing something new, just delete the old,
Yeah,
I guess.
they
And-
stopped at bags. We're taking it further.
Yeah, trees and heads. And lastly, a police robot told a woman to go away after she tried to report a violent brawl breaking out nearby.
Go away.
So this was like a police robot just on wheels, like an R2-D2 kind of thing, going around a park
Yeah.
to patrol. And a woman came up to report a brawl, and it just didn't want to know. She kept pressing the button, and then she like thought maybe it needs to see my face in the camera, so she stood in front of it. Get out of the way! Yeah, told her to go away. And then when she got out of the way, it went off and while singing a song. Oh, what a beautiful morning!
I'm totally behind the future.
Yeah, I don't think. Apart from the tragedy of the brawl and people getting injured and killed, or maybe whatever. It's just nice to know that I just like that. I like that being how society is policed.
Yeah,
just like it might just be in a bad mood and not want to
still
work
got
that day.
police that don't give a fuck, even when we made them.
Yeah, doing their jobs work.
Yeah.
Oh, all right, but get out of the way. I'm busy.
Designed to not give a fuck.
As it goes away. Kogo Guabara rushed over to a motorized police officer and pushed its emergency alert button on seeing the brawl break out in Salt Lake Park, Los Angeles last month. But instead of offering assistance, the egg-shaped robot, whose official name is HP Robocop, Heinz have got their fingers in everything. HP brown sauce, HP Robocop. Has it got a squeezy bottom? Paul Brown. Barked at Guabara to step out the way.
Yeah.
And then, started singing. Oh, and paused periodically during its song to say, "Please keep the park clean." Massive brawl happening behind it.
Find a robot that gives less of a fuck.
Keep the park clean. Da 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 da. Keep the park clean. Ah! Loads of fucking terror happening behind it. So yeah, that's me and the audience this week.
Oh, decent.
Nice.
Right. So it's just a quick one from me.
Steve's collection of useless meanderings. Scum.
Just a few small ones this week. Peter Lemon won the Medal of Honor when he single-handedly fought off 2 waves of Viet Cong while he was stoned off his box.
I think I remember something similar, but I don't remember him being stoned.
Yeah, like
Makes you more aware.
Absolutely blasted on weed. And yeah, I think maybe it's a focus thing, but I'd understand that for a sniper, maybe. But for when you've got to be like fully like if it's armed combat and there's waves and waves coming at you, like I'm not sure I'd be better stoned in that situation.
Well, it's a somewhat controversial thing to say, but I believe in some cases you can be a much better driver when you're stoned. And I'd argue that driving when stoned could be parallel to fighting off waves of Viet Cong.
I've never
in terms of intensity.
Never tried either.
Yeah, I've heard that. It's quite. It affects you in a positive way.
Yeah.
Obviously, it's a drug that is unpredictable, so you shouldn't do it.
Yeah.
But some people I know have reported it being much more laser focused in on
Something
everything.
something to focus you in. Yeah, I do get that. I'm not sure. I
guess it's that thing as well of like if you're drunk and then adrenaline spikes.
Yeah.
I mean, we came across that couple on fire, and I drank up like half a bottle or a bottle of Jägermeister.
Yeah.
And I wasn't sober, but I was more sober after going to the wreckage and that. And helping those people.
Maybe does that, doesn't it?
Does something.
Does it clear your head a bit, or does it just focus you in? I don't think it would do anything if you were paralytic, but I don't think you get an adrenaline spike.
You'd still have the alcohol levels in your bloodstream.
Yeah.
But maybe it thins. I don't know. You do feel a little less drunk.
Yeah.
Even though I was very aware that I was still drunk.
Yeah.
But there was more effort to be coherent and to do stuff. So I guess, but 2 waves feels like that's probably like a half an hour thing. Or at least to an hour of constant.
Yeah.
Wait until he stops inhaling.
Yeah.
Then we may have a chance.
Yeah. In the 1920s, a man convinced his wife to pull out all of her teeth and then refused to buy her dentures because it was cheaper to feed her soup than solid food. The wife took him to court, and the man was told to get her 2 new sets of teeth and at least 1 beefsteak per week.
It's a weird manifestation of love.
Yeah, pull out all your teeth. It's soup. Soup forever.
Just agreeing to having all your teeth pulled out.
Yeah, subservient people, I guess. Like,
yeah,
maybe.
Yeah, and relationships create weird dynamics.
Yeah, it didn't give any details of the relationship. Maybe it was an abusive relationship. I don't know.
Maybe.
and I think that kind of thing was much more accepted back then as well. Like it was like
Domestic violence
openly
with
accepted to kind of hit your wife in the street. Like that's fine.
Yep. Well, I'm still I don't know. Obviously, there's a strong belief that it was. I wonder how they categorize it though. How do you store that data? I guess films had it a lot more in. Was that Take Me to the Moon?
Yeah, I think
the fact that people watched it and didn't complain, that's evidence, isn't it?
I think people would find old films kind of shocking now. I just don't think our generation really watches them. Like sort of like noir films from like the 30s, 40s, 50s. Like, but it was commonplace in films for men to hit women for a long time, and it was never seen as outrageous. It was a thing. It was because women were irrational and they would get flustered, and you hit them to kind of get them back into reality. That's how it was always presented, and that.
Yeah, hysterical and
The other side of it is that in those movies, like if a woman was being a bitch, it was fine to hit her, which like I have a problem with in that I don't think you should hit a woman, but the philosophy behind it I got no problem with. If anyone's being a twat, then
just hit them.
Yeah, it's like I am not they deserve it, but like. They have to expect some kind of retaliation from being a twat.
Yeah, some kind of social. I mean, there's times where I think everybody, in exceptional circumstances, can do with being slapped in the face. Whether they know it or not. At the same time,
like it's one of those weird things where it's like I never endorse violence. I'm never like it's okay to hit that person. I think when these people are like, well, even if it's a Nazi, it's like yeah. And unless it's an army of actual Nazis and you've been told to fight them off or whatever, then even if someone in the street is being a Nazi, however you define that, no, you don't have a right to hit them.
Yeah. I guess what you're saying is this: if there is a point, regardless of gender or sex, that like if someone's being physically or verbally abusive to you, there is a line where it is understandable, maybe not legal, but it's understandable for you to react physically.
My thing is that it's not. I wouldn't do it. I don't think it's right. But if you're going to be a twat, you have to expect it, because not everybody has the same has the same kind of standpoint as I've got.
Yeah. You have to assume that the worst people are around. Yeah. So if you're a dick, you might encounter a dick. So you need to expect that, I guess.
Yeah.
But it's weird how it's a whole complex thing, but it is in the whole history of domestic violence, I guess, because it's a tale of many different stories. But it's definitely it's a really interesting thing to think about and go, how could society have worked if it was as present as it was in those films? Like, I mean, I don't know of anybody who knows of anybody who's in an abusive relationship and isn't upset by it. Can you imagine there's someone who's like, oh no, that's fine?
That was the weird thing. It was never. They still made.
Whereas, like, say it's Right to the Moon or whatever, that record had like when he punched his wife, I think it was, like the audience erupted in applause.
Right.
You're like, that's weird. The world must have been so different back then.
Yeah.
And while you can't say that doesn't still happen today, there are still people in domestic abusive relationships.
Yeah.
But the way that society views it now is different.
Yeah.
So I'd just be fascinated to see how it would work before. Everyone running around at that time, all the generations were in world wars, just going around with PTSD and fucking nightmares every night and being bombed. Kids growing up watching their Postmen explode. Everyone's just like, what the fuck's going on?
Yeah.
And then meanwhile, this is on telly. Trying to make sense of the world. Yeah. That was an iconic thing in a film, was a postman exploding. I can't remember what film. It was one of those World War II films. Yeah, it was when the Nazis went from the V1 to the V2 rocket, because the V1 had the whistle.
Oh.
Because that's, you knew.
Yeah.
No, I think it was if you heard the whistle, you felt safe because you weren't underneath it. Something like that.
Oh, right.
But you knew there was a big bomb coming in. And then the V2 had no big bomb. And in the film, that was when a postman went to, I forgot to put that letter through the door. Goes back and booms.
Jesus Christ.
So that person trying to make a sitcom, I imagine would have a lot of strange ideas.
Yeah. Yeah. And
Right to
then
the
the
moon.
guy
What does that
dies.
mean? Yeah.
Right?
It's coming up with all these crazy nightmare visions.
Yeah. They still put like the laugh track, the studio audience underneath it, but it's
Yeah.
just dead silence the whole way through.
Yeah. And then, that's the whole generation thing. And then
Yeah.
their kids are a little bit less weird,
Yeah.
but still
Yeah.
weird.
But it was, it was fully accepted. Like, it's like, it's kind of,
It must have been, right? Because it was on television and people applauded it.
yeah.
It was at least accepted in some way.
Yeah.
While there might not be any physical proof, I think that's proof enough.
Mm.
If people are applauding it on television.
Yeah. Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah. Oh, well, things change.
Yeah.
How do I pronounce this name? The Dorobo. Dorobo? I'll go with Dorobo. The Dorobo tribe of Kenya feed themselves by approaching lions with a fresh kill, cutting off chunks of the meat for themselves and leaving again. Apparently the lions are usually so weirded out by the nonchalant approach that they wander off, questioning their place in the world.
Did you order any takeaway? Did you? I didn't order it. Have you got your wallet? I have out of money.
So it's like that they've gone out and hunted a zebra, and this tribe of people just wander up and like, oh, some of that, like shaving off a bit of a kebab,
right?
and walking off.
No, yes, I've seen that happen.
And the lions just like run away.
Yeah, and it's very important of your body language. This was in like Planet Earth or something.
Was it?
Yeah, and they had to train them. Train others to do it. It's very important about your body language, how you approach them. Because if you approach them with confidence, they would feel like something's going to happen and run away.
Be cautious.
Yeah,
you have to.
If you reacted aggressive, then they become defensive.
Right.
But if you just go up there with utter confidence,
Just
and then just walk away, it works. It seems strange. Have you ever ordered like a takeaway with a group of people, but not the entire group of people? And then someone comes over. I did that it's a weird memory. That weird Bill Burr in the shower moment when just a random memory pops into your head. You go, ugh. I remember we were like rehearsing for a play at school or something, and afterwards, and like half the people ordered a pizza, and I just came over and thought it was for everyone, so I grabbed a slice.
Oh.
And they're like, "Did you pay for it?" I was like, "Yeah." Trying to be confident like those Kenyans.
Yeah.
Like, I don't think you did, mate. It's like, nah, you're right. I'll leave. It's kind of guess what happened.
Yeah. But like, how do you evolve to do that? There's one guy in that tribe, like the whole tribe was hunting for like thousands of years, and then there's one guy that's like, I've got a better idea.
Just didn't give a fuck anymore. Just so hungry. I'm just gonna go and take it.
Yeah, but like there's, I think there's a series that he's gone through, like of training, and like he's just getting battered every single day by these lions. It's like
I've gone up trying being bashful. Bashful didn't work.
Yeah, sleepy.
Coy.
Went up
I'll try coy.
being Doc.
Cute. But it's the same thing as those. This was a whole. This was the denial of. I think this was an argument about God actually at university. It was an argument presented for it.
Yeah.
Was there's so like why do there's a certain bird that leads bears to beehives
to honey.
Yeah, and my lecturer was presenting it as being like how on earth did that happen if not by divine design.
Right. Okay.
And it's like, well, one day a bear followed a bird and got some honey. And the bear always leaves some honey is how they describe it. But the bears aren't the most surgical of
no. The birds go in.
diggers.
They go to the floor and eat the scraps.
Yeah, or there's like bits on the sides, all that kind of stuff.
So
Bears just go
and
smash
birds
it up.
aren't dumb. Like a lot of birds are very clever.
Yeah.
So they'll go and see scraps, and at some point they'll have been like bears during the eating thing, and then they'll see, okay, that's where the scraps come from. And then when they see a bear, they're like, hey,
Exactly.
there's bees over here.
Yeah.
Like,
But how did that bear learn to trust that bird? You know what I mean?
well,
That was the whole thing about
that's
like
the
it's
stupid
a natural
things like,
selection
oh,
has
isn't it a
happened.
miracle? It's like, no, it's not a miracle. That's why it took thousands of years to get to that point.
That bear envisioned Muse.
Yeah,
And
it didn't
the muse
just
became a
happen
bird.
one day. Like there were thousands of iterations of like, birds getting eaten and
Yeah.
like bears falling into chasms and like all kinds of stupid things that happened along the way before they finally got to that point.
Yeah. And the other one was there's certain birds that clean the teeth of alligators.
Yeah.
That was the other example they gave.
Yeah.
And was like,
and pilot fish
it doesn't make logical sense
follow
to make that
sharks
decision.
around.
But you go, yeah, but we all do ridiculous rituals
Yeah.
for that, eventually turn into something that we believe to be common sense.
Yeah.
The alligators
you don't
appreciate
look
the
at
teeth cleaning.
let's say you came like you don't look at like I don't know, a guitar and be like, oh, see, like it's so intricate and well designed and everything, like it has to, like, no, it went through a couple of thousand years of different string instruments and then you finally got to this point. Like it started with a stick with a bit of string attached to it.
Yeah.
Like it's it's a stupid argument. Anyway, in 2009, after attending a Police Explorer after-school program, a 14-year-old boy showed up at a Chicago police station in uniform and worked a 5-hour shift. He picked up a police radio and a ticket book and then rode with an officer for several hours before the officer realised that he was a child.
No one introduced them. He just, I guess you're my partner for the day.
Yeah. Bill? Yep.
He's putting caps in his gun.
Blend in.
I don't want to kill anyone today.
Yeah. Give him a donut. Yeah.
Police whistles a kazoo.
Proactive. I think he got he got not arrested, but he got fined. Like
Kid
I get
impersonating a police officer.
a police officer. He didn't do anyone any harm, but he's just like, hey, he's a 14-year-old kid that wants to be a cop. The reason that he was able to ride around with you for so long is because he paid minute attention and learned all the rules.
Well, you put him in the car, you gave him a gun, and you sent him out to catch criminals. I mean, he didn't steal a car, I'm assuming.
Like, no, he wasn't driving.
Someone took him into their car and took them out.
He just got in. It's like, where are we going? Like,
I am policeman. Okay, let's do this.
Yeah. And finally, in 1883, gifts were distributed after a show in the foyer of the Victoria Hall in Sunderland. As 1,100 children surged downstairs, they neglected to tell them that the doors had been bolted shut for the performance. Those in front were crushed by those behind them, and 183 children died.
This is that Manchester Manchester United thing all over again?
Oh, right. Yeah, a little bit.
Yeah, I can't remember what it's called.
Well, I mean,
I think it was Manchester United.
It was Sheffield, wasn't it? It was in Sheffield where that happened. Where Anfield. No, that's
Anfield.
Liverpool. That's Liverpool.
I think
it's a similar
Anfield.
thing, like Anfield and the something in Liverpool collapsed. Was it Liverpool supporters in Sheffield?
I don't know.
I can't remember.
Loads of people died.
Stadium. Yeah,
because they just let more people in than they should have.
Yeah,
and this time they did it with, I don't know, it's Club 7 of 1883.
Yeah, well, that's just they were like, "Hey kids, there's a gift for all of you in the foyer after the show," and they all just rushed downstairs and they didn't open the doors.
The
Merry
gift
Christmas
of less time.
Yeah,
you don't have to worry about Christmas now.
Yeah.
Yay.
Like, so 1,100 people, 183 died. So it's like 1 in 10.
10%.
Yeah. Yeah,
no,
10% of you.
1%.
Like 90% of you will be getting a Christmas gift.
Yeah, we strategically didn't place
10% of you, your parents will be getting a Christmas gift. In that they don't have to buy any Christmas gifts.
Yeah, and that they don't have to come pick you up. the ambulance will take you to the coroner or something.
Yeah. Yeah.
It went pretty dark.
But that's me this week.
Yeah, all good. All good. Bit more upbeat this week.
Yeah, less combative.
Paced.
More.
Yeah. But that's what. I think that's how I productively or unproductively, however you look at it, deal with a lot of my stuff. Which is why I think I have a lot of a thought about subconscious things. I think most of life is trying to figure out what your subconscious is telling you. Yeah. And try and see where that bubbles up, and then you react. And then, I think I got home and I was like, oh, yeah, I remember that was on my mind at the time. That could explain this, that could explain that. Okay, that's now organized. Yeah. And then I now understand it, so now it's not something that's angry about anymore. Yeah. So, that's why I think I'm good with anger, is because, again, that could be described as a form of anger. I guess concern. Concern's angry, right? You're angrily concerned.
You're right.
Yeah, like, but as soon as you rationalize it, it becomes rational. And anger's not necessarily
It dissipates.
rational. Yeah, it's like fear. You only fear something that you don't understand.
Yeah.
And while you may understand snakes, you may not understand your fear of snakes. And as soon as you understand your fear of snakes and snakes, you may find yourself not to be afraid of snakes anymore.
Yeah.
So, yeah, you only fear the unknown. The only thing to fear is Marmite and something.
I quite like Marmite.
Do you?
Yeah.
Udon. Ooh. What was the ooh thing?
Are you missing the word?
Yeah.
I bought you some.
Umami.
Bought you some for a present. Yeah.
Umami.
Umami.
Yeah.
That's it. Yeah.
Yeah.
The savoury taste, whatever that is.
It's Marmite, isn't it? I think. Was it something to do with Marmite? I can't remember.
Yeah, it's quite beefy. Like it's savoury. it's like a meaty flavour.
Yeah. Well, I guess like I can understand how most people ate herbs like sage and rosemary, but it must have been weird to start eating just dust you find on the floor.
What?
You know, like salt and different minerals. You
Yeah.
start putting it in things and just eating it.
Yeah.
But I guess that was a normal thing of like witch doctrinus, just like take what's in the earth and put it in things and drink it.
Yeah. I always wonder about like how do you. So like people, we've been making bread for thousands of years, but like it's quite an involved process. How did that happen? It's like
Lack of food, seeing trees grow.
like, well, what if I put that in that? Why? I don't know.
Yeah, just purely experiment. Because it will grow in the wild, like wheat will grow in the wild.
Yeah.
So then
But
you
not
just go.
loaves of bread just whacked in the grease.
Well, you would eat grain
Yeah.
as porridge or oats.
Yeah.
So then, you'd eat that, and then one day it would heat up.
And ferment.
Just test experiment with all that kind of stuff.
Yeah, like I get alcohol. I think alcohol's quite easy. You make you make a drink or you make anything, and you leave it for too long, and it ferments. And then when you go to drink it, it tastes weird, and you get drunk. Like, oh, okay, I guess that was caused by time.
Yeah. I still haven't found the benefit. Like I never had like a chase of drunkenness. I think I've had it like sporadically once or twice, but there's never been like, oh, I could really do with getting drunk right now. I've never seen it as a positive. It's only been a negative for me.
I've had it a few times, maybe during like pretty like negative times in my life, but like,
I've had it to memory twice where I've been like, I actually want to go out and have a drink.
Like,
And
yeah,
get buzzed, but not really.
I definitely get I could really do with a beer, like a cold beer, like that would be amazing. But I think maybe it's just because you associate it with a time of like release and relaxation.
Maybe.
And if you don't, then you won't get that feeling, that association.
Yeah, and I guess neither of us have had enough friends to like go out regularly on a weekend with like 10 people and all have a good drink and a good time.
Yeah,
We've just been like, you go ahead, we'll stay here.
Yeah.
And talk into these microphones.
The thing is, like, we went out all the time and we didn't drink.
Well, I get it with smoking still. If I go out socializing, I'd be more inclined to smoke.
Yeah.
Not at all inclined to drink, but more inclined to smoke. So I guess it's just a different chemical.
Yeah, yeah.
It's a different thing. It's more exclusionary. Drinking's more inclusionary.
Yeah,
if those are
it's
words.
acceptable.
Well, as in, like, if you drink, you're more bonding with a whole group of people.
Yeah.
If you're smoking, you're socializing with people who don't want to do that. So it's like,
Yeah.
I'm going to go over here.
Yeah.
I'm leaving for a bit.
Oh.
Just to get away from you.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Yeah.
Yes, it's us this week.
176.
That's everything. 176. Yeah. Oh, I did have a little bit more into. Have you watched any Facebook video? I'm trying to pick a social media to give a shit about.
Oh.
Have you seen Facebook video? Do you use it at all? Like if you see a video on your Facebook feed and you click on it, it takes you to like other things you might like.
I don't
use
use
it
it at all.
I looked into it. It was horrible.
Yeah.
It was horrific. It was like, well, it's designed for the stupidest people in the world.
Yeah.
Just like the videos it's recommending was like, try not to laugh. And it was just like a dog walking and falling over. You're like, why would you ever think I wanted to see this?
Yeah.
And yeah, there's people who find this funny, but they're empty inside. And there's your child. This is like very childish.
Yeah.
So that was tempting me to go away from Facebook.
I think IGTV is the way forward.
I don't know. You see, that really pisses me off, the whole minute video thing. The whole, when it gets to a minute, you have to stop what you're doing and click on something.
Well, if you click into it first.
Well, then you have to double click on things. It's just like, just seems a pain.
Yeah.
And it really does.
There's more chance of people finding you, though, as long as you like tag it and
I
everything.
don't want to be found.
I want to grow.
Yeah. Well, it's
I want to be on social media. I
step.
just don't want it to be useful to me.
No, it's just, why do you have to then transition it to a phone? It's just like, I do Twitter on a desktop PC.
Yeah.
You know, it's where I think that's because I do a lot of different things at once, whereas most people go, I use Twitter, I use Facebook. But yeah, Facebook video was just like, I couldn't get into this.
Yeah.
There's some Facebook videos I like, but just the idea it was trying to show me these things was like,
The thing is, though, the weird thing about Facebook is that we've gotten used to the facts and somehow accepting that it all just looks like shit. Like, it's so jumbled around and confused, and there's just bits everywhere. Like, here's some text and here's some pictures, and like, it's just, there's shit all over the place. But we've all been using it for so long that we're just like, we're familiar with it. Even though, like, as a UI, it's fucking awful.
to do what? Out of curiosity.
To
make a video, to edit a video, to read a video?
No, for anything. To use as like as a social media platform. Like, I think your profile kind of just about makes sense, but the homepage is just bits and pieces just fucking everywhere. Like, I don't think there's any cohesion to it. The fact that you can't order the timeline in any like respective manner is fucking stupid still. Like, the only thing I want the timeline to do permanently is show me things in the order that they were posted, and show me everything in the order that it was posted, not just the bits that you think I'll like everything. There's no option for something like that, because it's just manipulative. Like, oh, I think you'll want to see this, and if you see this, you're more likely to stay around to see more.
Things you might have missed while you were gone, kind of thing.
I miss my friends posting things all the time because it just doesn't come up, because it's like, well, you like arguing with people, so you'll like this combative thing that this guy's posted.
Well, I did notice that people who tag us in posts, the Pulling Teeth podcast page in posts, we get zero notification for it. Yeah, I've just come across it on friends' pages.
Oh,
They're
really?
like listening to Pulling Teeth podcast and loving it. It's like, that's nice. I would have liked to have been notified about that.
Yeah,
I checked the thing. Is like, nope,
Never
absolutely no notification.
Thing. No.
So, but Facebook is really good for finding these news articles. That's all I use for it. I just scroll through. I'm subscribed to. It just annoys
me because, like, anytime you're making a website, you are upheld to a very strict kind of set of rules as to what the aesthetic should be, what is acceptable and what is not. And it seems like with stuff like Facebook, we've been using it for so long that we're willing to accept something that looks like shit just because we all use it.
I'm biased because I think a lot of my web development stuff has been inspired by Facebook.
Yeah.
As in, a lot of the systems that Facebook uses, I think I've used in some way.
Yeah.
So, like, it makes sense to me, but I think I have a different perspective, I guess.
Yeah.
But yeah, the video stuff doesn't feel very good. Twitter feels like it's not enough and feels like it's meant to engage with people. And then Instagram is just too difficult, as it's being emotionally difficult.
Because it's a mobile platform.
Yeah, they're like, do it on your phone. It's like, but I don't use my phone.
Yeah.
And then it's like, well, it has to be like this. It has to be like this. It's just like, I just want something simple.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I'm going to try and get into... I think Twitter's looking to be the more easy, like, everything runs on it kind of thing.
Yeah.
And just everything else will be a side effect of it. I mean, like, our promo thing this week was... I haven't put it on Instagram yet because I was just like, it's just another fucking thing.
Yeah.
So it's just I like the idea of it, but not the way it works.
Yeah.
So I'm at Nick Snip.
I'm at Sing It Steve.
We're at Pulling Teeth Pod on Twitter and Instagram.
Yeah.
Wisdom at pullingteethpodcast.com.
Yeah. Facebook.com/Pulling Teeth Podcasts.
Yeah, the website's pullingteethpodcast.com.
Yeah.
Which I tried to Google it, and our episodes are more search engine optimized than the actual website
episodes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So need to try and Podbean and stuff like that. What's the other one? I can't remember.
Stitcher.
Yeah,
TuneIn.
it was like popping up. I was like, oh, okay. So it's
Yeah.
got more of. It's been around for longer, I guess.
Yeah, well,
Yeah.
that's a lot of SEO comes down to that.
Yeah.
How long have you been around?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, that is us.
Decent.
Sweet.
I'll just start fading out into the background now.
Yeah.
For another week. Goodbye.